Yeah, it is. Listen, it's a blow, but sometimes you've got to take a step back and take a deep breath, because should Hearts have qualified for Europe knockout stages this season? Yes, they should have, but they didn't. Should they have qualified for top six after the comeback they'd made under Neil Critchley? Yes, they should have, but they haven't. So it's hugely disappointing. But you then got to go back to the start and look at, they were bottom of the league and struggling to get any type of result. And I'd say that great run, sort of December, January, has got them at a stage where they were looking at things slightly different, and they've not made it. But as I say, sometimes you got to take a step back and look at things and say where they were when the head coach took over. So in that respect, they've still got work to do. But this Saturday brings a completely different dynamic. It's an opportunity to get to a National Cup final, and those are few and far between. So again, it's about, forget what's happened there, go out Saturday against an Aberdeen team who've picked up in recent weeks, and try and win the game. They'll have advantage in the stands. There'll be a huge Hearts support through, and it's a game they're well capable of winning.
How much extra significance, because of obviously losing at the top six, does this cup now make, not just for Hearts as a club, but for Neil himself as well?
There's always significance the fact you're in a National Cup semi-final. You look at Aberdeen and Hearts, both teams, that their fans expect their players to get to cup finals and to be competing in cup finals and to ultimately win cup finals. And Hearts over the years recently have, since '98 they've won 3 cup finals, but they've been in 5 or 6. So it's a competition, inevitably do very, very well and get to finals, but they've not always won them. But you have to be in it. You have to be in it to win it. And this is a huge, huge opportunity for both teams. But from a Hearts perspective, yes, to get yourself into a National Cup final and look forward to it, it's what every player wants to be involved in. Even as a kid growing up, you looked at the FA Cup final, the Scottish Cup final, it's a showpiece game at the last game of the season, and you're thinking, oh God, it'd be fantastic to be involved in that, and all the stuff, all the that goes around. The week before it is brilliant, the build up to it's fantastic, the day, you get a new suit out of it, and it wasn't so much great with the big Hearts badge on it, right enough, but you get a suit, and it's the build up and everything. It's the showpiece, and all the razzmatazz that goes with it. So that's what you want to be involved in, and both teams will see that. It's a huge opportunity to make, a disappointing season into a really, really good one. Because you look at Aberdeen as well. The start they made, everybody's talking about potential title challenge. They fell off a cliff. They found their form again. They're still fighting for Europe, and that is the Brucey bonus for Hearts. Is that get to the cup final, get past Aberdeen, get to the cup final. If they were good enough to win it, suddenly they take the 3rd spot from Europe. So there's a way to gazump the teams above them now by getting to the cup final and actually going on and winning it, and that will be the ambition. It's not about Saturday, it's not about the best team wins, it's about go and win and then get to the cup final. And people are saying, oh well, even if they get there, Celtic will, but Celtic showed 2 weeks ago a vulnerability. They lost to St Johnstone, which proves on the day, you take your chance, your keeper has an absolute worldie, Celtic miss chances, you can win the cup. So it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity, and it's one that Hearts will look to, because it can salvage what's been a disappointing season all round. It was a disappointing start, there's been a decent middle, and then it's faded a little bit just now. But what an opportunity to really make it a fantastic end to the season.
You spoke about that razzmatazz of the semi-final atmosphere, and even before we were talking about the mental side of sport when it comes to things like the golf. But have you seen enough mentally from Hearts, do you think, that they can deal with this sort of occasion this season?
Yeah, we've seen flashes. I think that's the frustrating thing, is if you look at, Celtic have been the best team in the league this year, the best team in Scotland. You can't really argue with that. We've seen Rangers produce, you see Alec talk about Rangers produce flashes, of brilliance, and then really some poor performances. Hibs of late have been fantastic in terms of consistency. They were in the same boat as Hearts were, stuck with the manager, and look what happened. They've got the rewards from it, and it looks like they're going to be strong favourites to finish 3rd. Aberdeen started off like a house on fire. Dundee United have been consistent all the way through. So, you look at those aspects of it, and that's the mentality side of it is straightforward and simple. If you get a system, it works, you keep going, you'll get the results you need to get. And if you look at Hearts, we've seen some really good performances, and we've seen some, unfortunately, some pretty poor performances, and we've seen some average. So it's been a kind of average time of season for Hearts, but you can turn an average season into something really, really special now by going and winning on Saturday, because as I say, you win Saturday, the Hearts fans will then, it will give them a bit of momentum, a bit of excitement for the last 5 league matches ahead of the cup final, and then you go for it. You know, as I say, you can't win the cup unless you get to the cup final. There's 4 teams that can win it right now. You know, come Sunday at 4 or 5 o'clock, only 2 teams will be able to win it.
There's obviously been a bit of a backlash from supporters towards the manager, particularly on the back of Saturday. I mean, what have you made of the job he's doing overall, and do you see positive signs going forward that he is the man to take them forward?
Some of the frustrations from the Hearts fans will be, it tends to be quite tribal at times. You look across the city, and Hibs are broken a 77-year record, 17 games unbeaten, new club record, and yet at the start of that, David Gray was under immense pressure. A lot of people thought he could well have been on his way again. I met him at a European game. He was very calm. He knew he was under pressure, but he was resolute that he felt that they were on the right track and they would get there. He was given that little bit of time to carry on, to do the stuff that he needed to do, and look what's happened. So sometimes you've got to be, I know fans get frustrated, they get hugely frustrated, but sometimes a manager needs time. He needs time to get his philosophies in. And what's helped David, and there's no doubt about that, is he's won what the fans perceive as big games. He's beaten Rangers at Ibrox, he's beaten Celtic at home, they've beaten Hearts home and away, they've went to Pittodrie and won, they've went to Tannadice and won. So they'll look at, the Hibs fans will look at it and go, he's won some big games. Hearts fans will look at that and the same, and they'll judge the managers similarly. Come in, they were both down near the bottom of the league, look where they are now. So yeah, there's no doubt Neil Critchley needs to win a signature game. I think that would help. And the fact now that the Hearts haven't made the top 6, this right now is his biggest opportunity from now till potentially a cup final to put a marker down and say, you know what, of course I'm capable of winning big games, and that's how big a game it is. But sometimes I say the frustrations are Hearts fans will look across the city and see what's happening there, and it gets even more frustrating for them because of how Hibs are doing. Hibs are winning big games, Hearts are not winning big games. But as I said, what an opportunity if they can go out and beat Aberdeen on Saturday and get to the cup final. They give themselves an opportunity to qualify for Europe, and that's all the motivation you need. Forget that you want to win a cup. Goodness me, we've talked. This is the weekend of golf. It's a major. It's a major. What an opportunity! You don't get those opportunities very often. I had to wait for my last ever appearance to win a major with Hearts in '98. So it's an opportunity to go and grab it. That's the message: is go and grab it. Go out there and give yourself an opportunity, and get to the cup final, and then take your chances. Because we've seen last night what pressure can do to overwhelming favourites, and things that can happen. Sport is a hugely mental game. It's physical as well, it's technical, it's tactical. But what goes in between those 6 inches and years can play a huge part of it. And as I say, get to a cup final, you give yourself an opportunity.
John, on young Adam Forrester's had a really good run of games in the team. I want to get your kind of thoughts on his development this season, and obviously they've just signed a new Norwegian right back for next season. What kind of message do you feel that maybe sends to him going forward?
No, listen, as a young player, you never take your place. You will never take your place for granted. As a young lad, you're in the team, and you're always looking. The manager's always looking to bring in experienced players. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I know the game's changed now. We've got very, very large analytical presence, and the new model, the new thing seems to be bringing in younger players, keep them for a few years and sell them on. Well, that's fantastic if it works. It doesn't work for everybody. But so young Adam will look at it and think, as he got in at the start of the season, was young Adam expected to be anywhere near the first team? Probably not. He probably expected maybe if he got an occasional game here or there, got himself on the bench, that would be the sort of progress he was looking for. But Taylor got injured early on, and then young Adam was brought into the team, and he's had what you'd expect an 18-year-old lad to have, 18, 19-year-old lad to have. He's had ups and downs. He's had some really good performances. He's had some very strong under the radar performances, and he's had a couple of performances that haven't been great. But he's still a young lad, and he's learning. He's a big athletic boy. He probably shouldn't have played as many games as he has if Hearts had the right personnel in place who were fit to play there. Because when you look at the start, they said that Taylor and Ogiyoki, who was then suddenly sold very quickly, and so young Adam was thrust forward. But he's only, that's part of the process that you want as a club. You want your young players. Hearts have got a B team playing in the Lowland League, so they want players to be given the opportunity. With everybody's touched on young James Olsen, phenomenal season that he's had, and he's been given his opportunity. He's taken it and forced himself into the Scotland squad, which is just absolutely incredible at the age that he is. But young Adam's just, he's played away. There's one or two other lads, Finlay Pollock, I think, could have possibly also had an opportunity to play a bit more often. But that's part of the stuff you want to do. You want to bring through your own players. Yes, you want a strong pool of players for your first team squad, but you need your young lads to come through. Otherwise, there's no point having an academy. There's no point having a B team. I would always be the process of having 22, 23 really good first team players, 2 players possibly for virtually every position, maybe 3 goalkeepers. But after that, have your B team players. Give a pathway for your B team players to get to the first team, and that has been a success aspect for Hearts. They've had a few B team players come in and play some football, and that's the other aspect of it. When you're going well, fans don't look at where your young players are, how are they getting through. But when things are not going so well, then they think, well, why is he playing? But you've got to try and get the mixture right. But Forrester, I think it's been a fabulous season for him, and the young lad could possibly, as I say, he's going to have an opportunity to play in a semi-final, and then possibly a final again. And as I say, you go back to 96, 97, the last time Hearts played Aberdeen, we had a bundle of young lads in the team. Gary Locke, Paul Ritchie, Alan McManus, Alan Johnson. All those lads were given an opportunity, and we managed to scramble through.
John, just a quick one on Lawrence Shankland, obviously breaking records in his first 2 seasons, struggling to score goals, but you still see him making an impact in the team?
Of course. Listen, strikers are strikers. It's as simple and straightforward that. You will have the feast where you cannot miss, and then you will have the famine where you think it doesn't matter what I try here, it's not going in. But Lawrence, you can sum Lawrence's season up, possibly Hearts' season up as well. On Saturday, Motherwell with the very last kick of the game, he's gone through, he's gone on his left foot, and he's hit a good strike. It's got a foot past the post. Last year that goes in. There's no doubt about it. It goes in. Even if his luck's in a little bit, it's a foot closer, it hits the post and rolls out to Alan Forrest for a tap-in, but it didn't. It went a foot past the post. So that, in Lawrence's chance on Saturday, you see Hearts as a team, frustrations boiling out. They get that goal, and it appeases a lot of things. Going from, we were bottom when he came in, we're now in the top 6, so job done. That's what we needed to do, but the frustrations will come out because of that. And Lawrence is trying hard. Listen, I've had seasons at Hearts that it was single-figure goal tally for the season, and you're hugely disappointed. It's just one of these things. You keep trying, you keep going back. You know it's going to come again. And I genuinely believe Lawrence has got the personality about him and the persona about him that this is the type of game he could well go and get. Would I be surprised if he got the win on Saturday? Absolutely not. And I hope, 100% hope that that's the case, because he's that type of boy. He'll go in again Saturday believing that he'll be the difference between the two teams, that he'll be the man that scores the winning goal. And there's an opportunity for them. I mean, he could be the next Hearts captain to lift the Scottish Cup, and I'm sure that's what he'll be aiming for on Saturday, along with the rest of the team.
Would you start him on Saturday?
Yes, absolutely. He's got 70 odd goals. You can throw, listen, stats are stats. I could sit here and say, I've got a striker in my team on Saturday who scored 72, 73 goals in just under 3 seasons, and you'd go, wow. If I'm signing a Norwegian lad tomorrow, 73 goals in 3 seasons, you're going, brilliant. But what I'm not telling you, he's only scored 4 this season. That's the aspect of it. So you can spear the facts and the info any way you want, but he's capable of scoring goals. Elton Kabangu is capable of scoring goals. These lads in particular, and you know Lawrence Shankland is capable of scoring goals at any time. I mean, he went on Saturday, had 2-3 chances, whereas the first half I think Hearts had one shot from Cartoon. It went over, but so he's a guy who attracts the ball in the box. He knows what to get in. He just needs that little bit of luck. And sometimes, as I said, you know, if you want to look at luck in semi-finals, my goal against Aberdeen went in off my hand after a big scramble, but it went in, and I was coming off the bench to make the difference. So, you know, that's the kind of luck that you need sometimes. I don't think Lawrence has had that luck this season. It's not quite worked for him. Yes, there's a lot of white noise off the pitch about his contract situation, which has been, again, another huge frustration for the fans. But at the end of the day, he's going to pull on a maroon jersey. And if he pulls that maroon jersey on and starts the game on Saturday, then I'm sure every Hearts fan will be behind him, or should be behind him. I'll be behind him. Because there'd be nothing better as a Hearts fan than to see Lawrence Shankland come off the pitch, having scored the winning goal, or have helped the team to the cup final and a chance to win silverware.
Good luck, Magic.
Okay, gentlemen.